Dreading the rage, endless texts, or public smear campaign after leaving a narcissist? I get it, because I've been there and I've helped hundreds of clients through all of it. Using these 3 step-by-step moves, we saw nasty texts drop by 80% in just 2 weeks, without messy fights or fueling more drama. I'll walk you through the exact scripts and the no to low contact system you need, all trauma-informed and legally sound for your safety. By the end, you'll know what to say, when to go silent, and what peace really feels like in those first few weeks of freedom. Picture this. It's 2 a.m. Her phone won't stop buzzing. 27 missed calls, 18 texts, 4 voice notes. The gist of the message? You owe me a conversation. Answer now. By 8 a.m., the smear posts start on social media, just vague enough to sound concerned. Mutual friends ping her, "Are you okay?" And while her hands shake, she drafts a 3-paragraph reply, then deletes it, then drafts it again. If you've ever found yourself in this cycle, you're not alone, and you can break free. Then she has a call with me. By noon, we switch the plan. 1 line, 1 channel, 1 check a day. Following my advice, she sends this message: "I'm choosing to step away from this relationship. If logistics are needed, please use this email address only. I won't respond on other channels." Then she blocks everything but that one inbox, pre-briefs her close inner circle by saying, "Please don't engage, just forward anything you receive to me so I can document it." Then she sets "Do Not Disturb" and starts an evidence file. Day 2, 49 messages. Day 4, 11. Day 7, 3. The harassment spikes, then drops. By week 2, mornings are quiet, coffee's hot, and for the first time in ages, she can finally breathe. If you've ever felt your heart race while your notifications ping, you're not alone. That panic isn't your fault. You can take your power back faster than you think, and you definitely don't have to stay stuck in that cycle. Here are 3 core moves with word-for-word scripts that reliably silence a narcissist when you leave by cutting supply, removing their audience, and making consequences real. If you follow this exactly, the noise drops fast, often within days. Why? Well, because we use 1 clear script, 1 channel of communication with 1 daily check, if and only if absolutely necessary. I call this the no to low contact strategy that successfully starves the drama by removing reactions, audience, and access. Drop a yes in the comments if you know that feeling, and get ready to take your power back. To start, I'm going to show you how to cut supply at the source. And when I say supply, I mean any attention, access, or audience they can pull from you. Your reactions, explanations, time, money, favors, even arguments or reassurance are a source of emotional and energetic supply for the narcissist. So, cutting supply at source is your no to low contact strategy. And you do this by sending 1 clear exit message. Then, if and only if necessary, you shift to a single channel of communication and stop feeding the fire. Your goal is to give them nothing to push back on or feed off of. No reactions, no debates, no ammunition, and no access. But how do you do that? Simple. You send a 1-time exit message, then stop explaining. It can sound like this: "I'm not available for this relationship anymore. This is not a negotiation. Please use email for any necessary logistics. I won't respond elsewhere." Then use 1 single channel of communication only. Everything else gets blocked and/or muted. If you share children or have assets to divide, use a court-friendly app like Our Family Wizard and let your legal team manage the bulk of the communication. Only communicate if and when absolutely necessary, and keep your communication short, clear, and firm. You are delivering information, period. No explaining, justifying, or defending yourself. Learn to keep all emotion out of it and stick to the facts. For example, pickup is between 4 and 4:15 at the school office. I'm not available to discuss anything else. Or, my attorney will take it from here. If there are personal items that need to be exchanged or logistics that need to be managed, use third-party exchanges. No in-person meetings means no unnecessary drama or trauma. Hire a courier, ask a friend, or use a public desk for exchanges. Keep it business only. If and only if absolutely necessary, check the one channel of communication once daily. Respond only to true logistics and ignore all manipulative tactics, provocations, lies, and distortions. What you don't want to do is start composing essays, defending and/or explaining yourself, and you definitely don't want to start giving into the temptation to speak just this once. And the truth is, most people fail here. So if you've ever caved just this once and you felt pulled back in, you're not alone. This is a cycle you can break. The problem is intermittent reinforcement. Replying just this once draws you right back into explaining or defending, which teaches the narcissist that enough pressure gets them access and a reaction. But when you do this next step, it guarantees to starve the cycle while contact spikes drop and your nervous system starts to regulate. If you're ready to try this, type one channel in the comments to commit. And this brings us on to our next point. Close the audience and smearproof your world. Your goal here is to remove the audience the narcissist performs for, so the performance stops. But how do you do that? Well, it starts by pre-briefing your close inner circle or the really important people in your life. And you do so calmly and briefly, which can sound like this. I'm exiting an unhealthy relationship. If you hear gossip about me, please don't engage. Just send it to me for documentation. Thanks. One client, after pre-briefing her friends, saw the gossip dry up in days, and she felt a huge weight lift. But when your mutual friends or family members insist on meddling, set a firm and clear boundary by saying, I'm not available for conversations about them. If this continues, I'll end the call. Take care of and protect your privacy, digitally and otherwise. You do this by locking all of your social media accounts, or at the very least, stop posting and go completely quiet. Remove the narcissist from all shared devices immediately. Remove all mutual followers and unnecessary connections, and change your passwords everywhere. You also want to begin to create an evidence file. Start documenting everything. Keep screenshots, date and timestamps, and especially any threats in one folder, both cloud and directly on your device. No commentary, feelings, or opinions, just facts. And where your workplace and professional life are concerned, alert the head of your HR and/or your manager. Simply say, I'm managing an unwanted contact situation. Here's what to watch out for. And give them information on an as-needed basis only. No drama, no long-winded stories. Just the facts, calmly and clearly. Nothing more. Remember, you don't owe anyone an explanation. Every time you refuse to explain or defend, you protect your peace. What you do not want to do is refute, deny, or attempt to disprove every smear. And you certainly don't want to be venting openly, no matter how tempting it might be to do so. Have your boundaries and respect your own privacy. One calm line to anyone asking is all you need to say. And that can sound like, that's not accurate, and I'm not discussing it. Thanks for understanding. And then silence, not another word. Now, comment below if you're ready to reclaim your power. Comment power below. Also, if you'd like help with this process, there's a link in the description below this video where you can apply for a free one-on-one consultation with either myself or a member of my team. The next part of the plan is where the game really starts to change, making consequences real, both legal and logistic. Your goal is to show that attempts to make contact with you has costs, and you'll enforce them. But how do you do that? Well, let me show you how to communicate potential consequences in a way that doesn't escalate drama. It starts with a clear cease contact line via email, not text. Simply say, do not contact me again, except for, and then enter the strict logistics you've set. Then go on to say, further attempts to contact me will be forwarded to my attorney or the authorities, or both, depending on your circumstances. Now, with regard to your regular routines and having a safety plan, this is important. Change your locks and all access codes. Change your P.O. box if you have one, and remove their access to your mailbox. Can this be an inconvenient hassle? Yes. Is it necessary? Absolutely. I once had a client ignore this recommendation. While going through a contentious divorce, her insurance company made a mistake and issued a check that was meant solely for her with both names on it. Because her ex had access to the mailbox, he managed to rip her off for an additional $3,000 that he had no right to. And she had no recourse once he cashed that check. Do not let them continue to have access to your mail or anything else important for that matter. It's not just about inconvenience. It's about protecting yourself from real harm and making sure your hard-won progress isn't undone. And this brings us on to our next point. Start your paper trail before you escalate. Document every unwanted contact, then file a report if things don't stop. Again, depending on your circumstances, you may want to discuss a protective order with your lawyer. Remember, toxic people respond to consequences, real consequences. So, if you're serious about leaving and you want peace and freedom sooner rather than later, you may have to get tough and hold the line if you want to be taken seriously. Either way, if you share kids and you have no alternative but to communicate, use a court-friendly app. These can be enormously helpful when it comes to reducing unwanted communication and harassment. It also gives you the benefit of ongoing date and timestamp documentation. Schedule exchanges and handoffs at school or your local police library or via a safe third party, a trusted friend or family member. Stick to parenting plan language only and ignore their baiting tactics. Now, what not to do? Be available for in-person closure conversations or unnecessary meetings of any kind. No doorstep contact, no driveway handoffs, no in-person negotiations, ever. If you tend to freeze up or over-explain under stress, here are some quick scripts you can use verbatim to help you navigate your no to low contact strategy. Begin by sending one clear exit message. For example, I will no longer be engaging in personal conversations with you. Use email for logistics. If absolutely necessary, letting them know I won't respond elsewhere. Keep every message short, clear, and strictly about logistics. For example, I'm confirming Tuesday 4:30 pickup at reception. That's all for now. And when it comes to setting a boundary with people who feel entitled to meddle, simply say, I won't discuss them. If this continues, I'll end the conversation. What silence really looks like is fewer messages with predictable spikes in their attempts to make contact and suck you back into the abuse cycle, followed by a drop-off in the barrage of messages. You might get a sudden burst of angry texts or calls, then radio silence for a week. That's normal. It's just them testing your boundaries. But know this, every time you waver, you lose credibility and it gets harder. So stay consistent. Every time you hold the line, you teach them you mean business, and you teach yourself that you're worth protecting. And yes, smear campaigns are going to flare up. That is, until your circle stops feeding it. Don't worry about the people who believe the narcissist BS. You can't control who's going to buy into the distorted narrative. Let that go, painful as it may be, and focus on healing and living your best life. The good news is, if you stay consistent, your nervous system calms down and your life begins to improve because you're no longer engaging. You don't need to win the narrative. You need to win your peace of mind and emotional freedom. Now, that said, always remember safety first. If there's stalking, threats, or any escalation, document everything and speak with your local law enforcement or your legal counsel and your safe support system. If you don't have one, it's time to get one. Now that you know the 3 moves that silence a narcissist when you leave, to make this much easier for you to do, watch this video on narcissistic baiting. What is it and how to handle it? Protect your peace. You deserve it.